and look at other portions of this artificially regenerated clear cut. That have the European larch and red pine. So yeah, I would say those trees are at most 12 to 16 feet. Okay, you can start to see some red pine back in there. See, lots of cherry has come in here, lots of black cherry in addition to the pin cherry. And now here we have the larch, and it's just towering. That's got to be more like 25 to 30 feet tall. Just amazing growth. And here we can see it side by side with the red pine. Now the red pine is doing quite well. You can see it's above the low level of competing vegetation. It's being overtopped by some of the cherries and trees, red maples that have come in. There's a little bit of ash in there, white ash. But it's doing quite well. It has a nice, nicely deformed crown at this stage. Again, you might consider some spot treatments if you really wanted to encourage these red pines as your crop trees. Now, I would say that these look even a little bit shorter than the Norway spruce and are coming in at more like 10 feet at the most. Next to the larch, it's quite dramatic how much faster the larch is growing. So let's just walk this road and you can kind of observe. I'm going to hold the camera up so you can observe the stand. It's amazing to me that these trees have grown so much in just 8 years. Now here's a site where the red pine are a little bit taller. As we get up onto the convex portion of the slope on the Mongop series, so you can see the red pine already at this early of an age appear to be doing much better. Now this is approaching more like 12 to 14 feet tall. And they've gained control over, now this strip of red pine is completely in control over the community. It's controlling the understory vegetation at this point because it's much denser. And there's some larch right next to it. Side by side. I guess Mongaup is the place to be. And here we come to some more spruce, Norway spruce. Pretty good growth on these guys too. Again, this year it looks like 1.5 to 2 feet of growth alone. More than that last year, more like 2.5 to 3 feet of growth last year. This year has been exceptionally dry. I remember last year, pretty much every field trip that we had in silviculture, it was raining during. Now this year, I haven't had rain affect one day that I wanted to come out in the field. So there's the Norway spruce next to the larch. Say the Norway spruce is about 16 feet tall, maybe a little bit taller on average here than our first stop. And so across the trail, we're looking at a northern hardwood stand that wasn't cut that we could consider to be similar to the stand that was cut for this clear cut. And so you can see here we've got some beech issues, lots of red maple, and this other shrub in the understory we've got some rubus in the foreground here, some blackberry, as well as some hobblebush in the background. I believe that's Viburnum Lantago, something like that. Let me see. I wrote it down. I thought I wrote it down. Viburnum latanoides. Latanoides. Hobblebush. So that's a real important shade-tolerant shrub that grows all over our northern hardwood forests here at Heiberg, as well as up at Huntington Forest in the Adirondacks. Hobblebush. It's also called witch hobble. And I've noticed this year that it's been very affected by the drought. You can see the leaves have curled up ahead of and dried out ahead of the natural senescence leaf fall period. It's a shade tolerant shrub, and it impedes a lot of natural regeneration in northern hardwood forests where it's locally abundant, like it is right here in this patch. So if we walk into this stand a little bit, basically we see some poor quality maple trees, some beech sprouting, hobblebush, not much advanced tree regeneration in the understory. Lots of beech sprouting. And we've got some big old black cherries. that are taking a lot of the growing space. So we've talked about cleaning and these herbicide vegetation control treatments that we did before the clear cut to control the beech sprouting, the hobblebush, and the rubus. We might come in and do some weeding of the larger pin cherry saplings and other tree species that are in that clear cut to release our crop trees, our Norway spruce or larch or red pine if they're crowding them out, if that is our goal. There's a third release treatment called liberation. And so when you're a liberation treatment and a cleaning treatment are both releasing young saplings that have a high potential for growth response to that treatment. The third treatment, release treatment, is called liberation. And a liberation treatment refers to a release from a larger, older cohort in the overstory.